Hello, welcome to a new video. My name is Luisa and today I wanted to share with you some valuable lessons I've learned in 2025 and just take you with me how I started into this new year 2026 by slowing down, being in nature, being offline, and really tuning in to my own self on my healing journey. So I thought it might be interesting to take you with me in kind of a vlog style while also talking about valuable things I've learned in the past year. One of my favorite things I've learned last year is that your 30s are not about having it all figured out. I think that we all have some kind of imagination or expectations that by the time that we turn 30, already made a lot of progress in our career, and we might already have children and live in our dream house and things like that. But then by the time you turn 30 and sometimes you feel like, oh my god, I'm so stuck and I have none of these things, it's totally okay. Most of us, we need to re-find ourselves and recreate ourselves again and again, and we need to let go and rebuild ourselves from new strengths. And you know, life happens and we never can really plan. I just learned to allow myself to begin over and over again and discover also more parts of myself, and finally being confident enough to embrace them as well, not to hide them. It's really beautiful to give yourself the permission and the space to grow and trust and see where the journey will take you. And then I also learned that it can get lonelier sometimes if you are staying where it's comfortable, but it doesn't feel aligned anymore, than to having the courage to jump into the unknown and to break free and to let go of things or people in your life, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it hurts. Because in the end, the person you will hurt the most is yourself. So maybe you've met this person to walk this path until this certain point, but when you feel like you're stuck, you're not growing anymore, then maybe it's time to go. And usually love alone is not enough, so it takes more than that. It takes shared values, it takes honesty, it takes commitment, and also shared direction for a relationship to last. And also I've learned that human actions are based on two emotions. There's love and there's fear. So we either act out of love or we act out of fear. And fear is ego-driven. So fear always wants something, clinging, and holds it to itself, whether it's love or success or whatever it is. And when you are able to act out of love, you're able to let go, you're able to free yourself as well as free other people, and love doesn't need anything. When I realized that, so many things have shifted for me. My first big projects were coming, and I was unconsciously having a lot of doubt, having a lot of fear. What if it doesn't work out? And I really tried to control the situation, which I couldn't. And then I really dropped into my deepest intention, which was not to do this for myself or for my ego. It was to do it for others, for the love of other women, this project. Once I moved away from the fear, from the ego, from trying to control everything, and moved towards love and started to trust and surrender to the unknown, everything started to fall into place. And in the end, it was so rewarding because it turned out better than I could ever have imagined. And in this matter, I have another lesson for you. So as space holder, as facilitator, I always really want to show up as my best version and like meet any expectations, probably from my own self. Or I just realized again and again that when I try to act like perfect and say the perfect words and like be like others who are ideal in my head or people I find inspiring, and it was less authentic and felt less good in my head than when I just let go. I don't think about the perfect words. It was more like to speak from my heart instead of from my head, to allow the words coming from my heart. And I cannot plan these, so it's just whatever is coming in that moment. Be real and be human and allow yourself to make mistakes. And it was so funny last year when I was teaching at a festival. It was really a chaos, and they brought me like a microphone that you can hold. And then I did the lesson with the microphone holding it, and I couldn't demonstrate, but this was really out of my comfort zone. And then, you know, some other things happened in that class, but it turned out to be such a fire class because I allowed myself to let go of that perfect imagination of the perfect class, take the situation as it is, and usually that's always when it turns out the best. So that was my lesson, that I can trust my inner wisdom. When I went to Portugal this year and stayed there for 1 month, I was staying mainly in hostels, and I really love to meet new people and to travel, until eventually I realized that I got really burnt out socially and I couldn't take any decision by myself anymore, and I couldn't feel what I need anymore. So I made everything dependent on others. I was always asking what other people do, and I couldn't decide what I want. I was not in touch with my feeling, with my intuition, with my needs. So whenever you have this feeling, this is probably a good sign. You didn't protect your energy good enough, and this is the time to step back and to take time in nature, to isolate yourself, to recharge, to cleanse through water, through movement, to journal, and really find back to your own energy, to your own self, seeing whatever you need and recharge from within. So that's where I learned that energy is expensive and that you need to spend and protect it wisely. Two lessons of last year. The first one being that no matter how much healing work or inner work or self-care you do, if you don't get to the root of the problem, you will always feel stuck in some way. Because these patterns are in your subconscious, deeply rooted in your system, and you need to get to the ground of the things through shadow work, through therapy, through really sitting with the dark side, really sitting with the uncomfortable emotions. Because if you never allow these uncomfortable emotions to be there, if you always try to make yourself feel better through self-care, which is great, don't get me wrong, I love self-care, but you really need to find out what is the reason that is keeping you blocked. It's not going to happen overnight. This is a process, and it's very valuable. Once you get to the bottom of the things, you will finally feel free. And this is connected to another lesson I've learned this year, because our dreams can tell us very important messages. So whenever I had a repeating dream, it was actually a trauma showing up in my dream. I understood what I need to do in order to release the fear of this trauma to repeat itself. So our dreams can tell us very important messages, and our subconscious knows what we need long before our mind catches up. Our shadows are also showing themselves in our dreams. What I can recommend is to have a little journal next to your bed and write down your dreams. And the more you do it, the better you will be at remembering it. And maybe you will find repeating patterns, and sooner or later you might get a meaning out of that. And then I'm coming to my last two lessons of last year, and I'm sure that many people can relate, especially introverts. So whenever I'm coming to a new group with new people, which I find very inspiring, very talented people who do lots of things, I tend to make myself very small and think automatically that these people are better than me. And then I start to doubt myself. What I tell myself in this situation is that being unique is your superpower. So every person has their own strength. Some people are very extroverted and very charismatic and have beautiful and lots of ideas and like to lead. But then there are also people who are not like that, and that's also perfectly fine, because for a group or for a system to work, we need both of these people. We need the caregivers, we need the leaders, we need the strategics, the thinkers. We need every quality. If you are the more quiet, more introverted person, then you also have valuable qualities, just like being empathetic, having very grounding energy, and being the listener. You are enough the way you are. You just need to find your own strength and embody these and be proud of these. And in addition to that, I want to tell you that you are not limited to only one version of yourself. As I said, you are unique and you have many different qualities within you, and allow yourself to embrace them, allow yourself to shine, and don't hide these parts, because they make you the person that you are, and you don't need to fit into any boxes. Only to keep the image or the perception alive you or other people have from you, because people will only see you of their perception. People will always only see a tiny fraction of you, or their perception of you. Don't try to please others and hide yourself for that. So always follow your heart and do whatever you desire, because people will judge anyway. Okay, this was it, my loves. I hope you enjoyed this video and could take something meaningful out of it. I think it's so valuable to really look back and see how we grow and what we learn along the way. And yeah, and these were my valuable lessons of the last year, just a few out of many to keep this video not too long. But I hope you liked them, and I want to know, what were your most valuable lessons of the last year? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you like this video, just give me a thumbs up. And I wish you a beautiful, abundant, magnetic, rich and healthy, happy, joyful year of 2026, and hope you could also start it with intention, or take your time to start it with clear intentions and willingness to grow. And I hope to see you very soon again. Wishing you lots of love. Mwah.